Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to 100% Real with Disposable, y'all. Appreciate that y'all could make it out and just hear this first podcast. But pretty much what this podcast is going to be is me being 100% real on my thoughts about anime. And I'm going to be having people weekly coming over just to check out and talk with us about it. It's going to be a dope experience. So be sure to stay tuned and get ready for the episode.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about One Piece because this is I don't know, this is my favorite anime. Is it your favorite anime?
Dude, let me tell you about favorite anime.
Oh, hey, so it is his favorite anime. Hey, but this guy showed me One Piece, so he got me into all of this. So, Gabe, would you mind giving us give the fans a 1 minute explanation of why One Piece is the best anime?
Oh man, breaking it down to 1 minute.
Two, we'll do two. We'll do two.
You're taking a show that's like 1,000 episodes long.
Hey, it is.
So I think One Piece is definitely a cut above all the rest of the animes. It like I think I remember Shane was saying one time, like most of the animes have like a home central base.
Yeah.
But it just all kind of always comes back to it. Never really like moves. With One Piece, for some reason though, like obviously it's an adventure. You're going through the Grand Line together, but more than that, you always remember every character you meet. It's the show with the most characters, but they're so memorable. You remember them so much throughout the whole show. The adventure itself is just so great. It's huge. Like you've got this massive world out there, like waiting. And I think the best part is you're part of the adventure. Like you're a crewmate, really. When you watch it, you're like, I'm part of the Straw Hats. I'm here with them the whole ride.
Dude, it really does feel like that. Cause when I watch One Piece, I'm like, dang, I'm really part of Luffy's crew. Like he draws you in so well, but I don't know how Oda does it. Like he actually does make you feel like you're part of the crew. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, you feel like you're on the Sunny or on the Mary, and like the whole time you're there, you're with them the whole time. You were there from the beginning when you first got off that barrel.
Yeah. Hey, the barrel is pretty OP.
Yeah.
Hey, Gabe. So my thing got all started because you showed me, but how did it get all started for you?
For me, so I watched it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like middle school, probably, maybe a little younger. Like it was on TV for a little bit. It was on Tsunami. Throwback to Tsunami, man.
Yeah.
So it was on like Tsunami for a little bit. It was the English part, and I think there was a point it was my senior year of high school where I really only needed English to graduate my senior year. So I went and I took a bunch of extra classes for picks, and I had a free period because I couldn't fill one. So I literally sat in the computer lab and had nothing to do.
So you just watch One Piece?
So I didn't start with One Piece. I started with I rewatched Dragon Ball Z because I love Dragon Ball Z.
There it is.
But I watched all of Naruto to like caught up on Naruto, and then I was like, wait, let me start One Piece because I remember this show being so good, and I remember watching it past like a few episodes, and like I watched it and I was instantly hooked. Like it was so good. Like I remember anything I remember, I just remember One Piece. I'm like, this show was phenomenal. I spent the entire rest of that year just catching up on One Piece in class.
Bro, that's so wild that you say that because that's literally the exact same way I got hooked. Literally senior year, all I needed, I forgot which science class it was, but I just needed one. And bro, literally for the rest of the day, I would just watch One Piece. And I think I remember finishing all the way up to Summit War in like 2 months.
Yeah.
It was so good.
You flew through that.
Bro, it was so good. Hey, but when did you get hooked? Because I know you said you got instantly hooked, but I know for me, I think I got hooked like Nami Arlong arc when they were first going in at it, and then we actually got to hear Nami's true backstory. I was like, dang, she's got some dirt up her skin. I like this girl. I think that's when I got hooked. But what about you?
I think for me, I think just off the beginning, I liked the artwork. It was very like retro in the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
that was kind of the style back then. And I think just from the very beginning, I like the thought of a giant adventure out on sea, and like it was just really compelling. It was like, oh man, this is everything I want in a show. Like
Yeah.
crazy adventure, superpowers, a crazy swordsman with 3 swords, like not just the
Yeah.
sword, like 3 of them.
Yo. That's so wild.
Yeah, so I think as soon as the first episode showed up, and then you saw Zoro, and they made this huge deal to meet Zoro, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be good. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch this.
Yeah, so that is gonna open up to the Romance Dawn arc, which
Ah
they
man,
don't people that are listening to this might not know about it. But what do you think? I think the Romance Dawn arc was actually really good. Some people say it's but I thought it was a really, really good opener. How do you think? Because I know you read the manga, but I read the anime. Or I watched the anime, that's what I meant to say.
yeah. So I originally watched that whole part up until like I didn't start reading up until we got to like Dress Rosa.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, to put it into perspective, Dress Rosa was still going on in 2012.
Oh my goodness, bro. That's wild.
That's how long this show is, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But Romance Dawn, man, yeah, I watched it, and I mean, I've gone back and read it because it's just so good. I wanted to catch up on it and see what Oda's work was, but he keeps it the exact same manga and anime. So Romance Dawn to me, I think a lot of people they're hit or miss. Like like what you were saying,
Yeah.
like oh this is it, and then you get the Arlong, and it's like okay this was it for me. Like the rest of the show is gonna be good. But
Yeah.
like Romance End's kind of like you just kind of have to power through. Like for me, I loved it from the very beginning. I thought it was
Yeah.
like and like my favorite quote in the show is when they get to Jaya and he's like, "The adventure is the romance," and that like throws it back all the way to the Romance Dawn. And
Yeah.
it's true. The the adventure is part of the romance, and like the Romance Dawn starts off the whole adventure. It just sets it in place.
Yeah.
You start getting all these hints. It's like okay, we're gonna be on the ocean, and then he hits you with there's an even greater ocean out there. There's the Grand Line.
The
Like
Grand Line. That's where everything starts picking up.
oh
Now,
yeah.
I know, I don't know if they know, but we know that there's the Navy and then there's like different higher ups in the Navy. So in Romance Dawn, we get hit with Axeham Morgan,
He's
and
the
then we get
captain.
hit with Helmeppo and Kobe.
Dude, Helmeppo was a trip, man.
Dude, he was something else back then. But they don't know about the Nunu. Hey, what do you think about Helmeppo's hair back then compared to now?
Oh man, I think he definitely got an upgrade.
Definitely got to upgrade. Hey,
Man,
isn't it? I think it's really cool how Kobe started off like being friends with Luffy, and then they were kind of like on the same side, and now Kobe was back then. He said he wanted to join the Navy, and he finally got his dream. So, how do you think that's gonna end up going into like the final like the end stretch in like the One Piece arc? Do you think he's gonna end up being a fleet admiral or?
oh man, don't even get me started on the conspiracies, man.
They're not ready for him.
Yeah, I definitely believe like when we first saw Kobe, like I was like, man, that was a cool character. I was always curious to see if we'd ever see him again.
Yeah.
And then Water 7 happened, and I was like, oh man, he got so much stronger from
Yeah.
being that wimpy little kid. And to see him go up until where we see him now, I'm gonna try not to give too much away, but where we've seen him now recently at the Reverie, and just seeing how big he's gotten, like we've pretty much grown up with Kobe, and like
Yeah.
and I definitely believe he's gonna be an admiral. I definitely believe he's gonna make it the fleet admiral. Like I think so. I think he's just so powerful now, and
Yeah.
his hockey color is gonna be insane. Oh man.
Hey, and what the crazy thing is that like finishing up with the Romance Dawn arc, I loved everybody's backstory, but I feel like Zoro's got cut a little short. I don't know if you feel like that, because I feel like he's the second man in line for the Straw Hat Pirates, but his literally I was reading watching a recap video, and they said that his backstory in the manga was like only 7 pages long, and I'm like, this is the second man in line. What are we doing?
Yeah, so Zoro is the first mate in ship language, I guess.
Yeah.
But so Zoro, yeah, I was always curious about that. Like, I was wondering, like, why is Zoro's story so short? But it's like they did so much and they just condensed it. Like, but it was like it was a good amount. You know, we know kind of where he is. We don't actually know where he came from or like whatever happened afterwards. You know, we just know he became a bounty hunter and he was looking for Mihawk
Facts.
and he just got lost along the way. Which is, you know, nothing new about Zoro.
Yeah.
But I was always curious about that. Why Zoro's story is so short. He's the first mate, you know.
Yeah.
He's Luffy's first mate. He's his right hand man. He's like the second strongest on that ship.
Yeah. Hey, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know, but I feel like One Piece does this way better than any other anime. Like they're they're obviously side characters, but everybody has something that they're working towards. Like Sanji wants to be the best cook, Zoro wants to be the best swordsman. You got all these different people wanting to do something great. And then I feel like in other animes they just lack doing that. I don't know. What is your take on it?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. Like, you know, in a lot of other animes, they have these like, you know, sometimes the side characters have like a dream, but there's very few of them. You know, like in Naruto, there was maybe two or three, and that was it. You had all the rest of the Leaf Village ninjas, but they didn't ever like specify what their dreams were really, and you never really kept up with them throughout the show. Whereas in One Piece, the entire Straw Hats, they're all main characters,
Yeah.
and they all have their goal, and they constantly say like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to be the best, and it's
Yeah.
like, but it's also like Luffy's gonna be king. Like I definitely believe that, and they're just like we're gonna do our best to be the best for the king. Like,
Yeah.
and that whole dynamic is like the best thing that ever happened to a show ever.
Bro, it's the best feeling when you watch those type of episodes when they're like, because Luffy, he goes on and says that he can't do this without them to become the Pirate King, and them in the same way they return and they're like, we can't not do this. You have to become Pirate King. And I'm just like, dang, I need to get further into this.
Yeah. And like it's cool because all of their goals essentially have to do with them finishing the grand line, you know?
Yeah.
How do you get to all blue if you don't get to Raphael? How do you get a map of the world if you don't ever finish the grand line? How do you become the best swordsman if you're not on the Pirate King's ship, you know? Like
Yeah.
how do you get a ship to sail around the world if you don't go with the Pirate King?
That is very true.
Dude, all of their stories and like Choppers, everybody's got such a great story, and
Yeah.
their goal is literally to be on the Pirate King ship, and it just happens to be that way.
Bro, hearing that now, that just like the Pirate King shit, that's so mind blowing. Cause like you think of Pirate King and you automatically think of Goldie Roger. Cause he's the one. I don't know. We kind of forgot to talk about this, but Goldie Roger was like, he set everything into place. Like nobody would have knew about the One Piece if he hadn't have said that on his execution day. Ain't
Yeah,
that wild?
and so and like in the manga, the way it starts off is it starts with Gold Roger's execution.
Yeah.
So they start off like, you know, they're killing the Pirate King. Everybody's like, and somebody, you know, he's about to die, and somebody's like, he's like, where is it? Where's all the treasure? He's the best, and he's like, and he's just smiling because he knew it was coming, and he's like, if you want it, it's there on the Grand Line, and it just blows it out of proportion, and like the crowd goes wild. They kill him, and the crowd is still going wild.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's how the romance sound starts, and it's so cool. Like I definitely think there's a treasure, and you know, there's gonna be something huge at the end of that Grand Line. So the further you go in the show, like the more you realize there's other things there, but there's definitely a treasure, like, for sure.
Yeah. So we hear about that. We hear about Goldie Roger, but another thing we hear about is bounties. and people don't know about bounties yet.
Yeah.
So how would you explain bounties? I think bounties is like, I think it's a price that the Navy puts on the pirates for like how bad they've been or like the amount of damage they've done to the world. I wouldn't say damage, but how would you call it?
So a lot of shows have a way to measure power reading.
Yeah.
So early Dragon Ball Z, they had the Scouters. Yeah, then they could do it with their heads, but um, it just goes to show, like Black Clover, they have a ranking system, but the difference with One Piece is the bounties are kind of like the power meters. I
Yeah.
say kind of because also like for like a small part of it, they don't ever recognize Luffy and how powerful he is, and they just kind of give him like they're giving him a big bounty, but he's actually like, I think he's bigger than that sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
progressive. So I think eventually it'll be like, okay, it's a power rating, but so you can take it that way, it's a power rating, but it is what you're saying. It is compared to like what they've done versus like it's always against the Navy.
Yeah.
You're going against the world. That's why you have a bounty on you. So I think the bounties are kind of power ratings, because it's true. The bigger your bounty is, the more powerful you usually are.
Yeah.
So
Bro, it's so weird because like in this world that they're in, like the pirates are the bad guys, but Luffy is the good guy. I don't know why. And then we see the Navy as bad people. It's so weird. It gets me tripped off sometimes when I'm watching. I'm like, hold on, isn't the Navy the good guys?
yeah, so that's crazy because like you started off at the romance time.
Yeah.
You're thinking like pirates. Okay, pirates are usually the bad guys,
Yeah.
and then you meet Axan Morgan,
Sam Morgan.
and then you're like, okay, this guy's a jerk. Like,
Yeah, he's a straight D bag.
yeah, people in the Navy are not the heroes, and Luffy, like, and he says it throughout the show. He's like, I'm not here to save you. I just want the party, or I'm not here to save you. I want the gold. Like, there's
Yeah.
gonna be a price at the end, and usually he doesn't take much, so he ends up becoming the hero. But his goal, he even says it. He's like, I don't want to be a hero. Heroes are selfless. Like, he always says it. He says this funniest thing. What is it? And he's like, a hero has to give away all of his food. I want to keep all the meat.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely the hero in the show, obviously, but
Thanks.
they write it in a way where you're like, okay, the Navy's still technically here. I mean, there's a whole lot more that goes into that.
Yeah.
You watch the show and then you find out a lot of things, and you're like, okay, something's going off here, and even now we still don't really know, what's actually happened. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and you're just like, are they the good guys? Are they the bad guys? Because there's a lot of good Navy people, but there's a lot of really like weird Navy people, like bad Navy people.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. I remember in Dressrosa, they don't know about it.
Yeah,
Some shady stuff was going in.
yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff there.
I was like, dang, all this stuff happens. All right, guys. So you guys might be wondering what the worst generation with Gen Z means, and basically the worst generation is like, so after would you say before the time skip, when they hit the
when they hit the 70.
when they hit the Sabbaty, they pull up, and then there's these 11 pirates, which they call the supernovas, right? The 11 supernovas. And then they're basically like the so-called worst generation in this upcoming arc that we're getting ready to go to, or upcoming arcs, because they're like the main guys that are getting ready to come through and might be the next Pirate Kings. We don't know yet. But that's basically the worst generation, and I love the worst generation so much because I want to see the next Pirate King come into play.
But yeah, they're like top of the game. They're the pirate. Yeah, they're this generation, Luffy's generation. They're his rivals. They're like,
yeah,
they're gonna fight him to get to the end,
to the number one spot. Because I think the 11th or the worst generation, they're fighting for the top spot at all times, as you see how it plays out after the Sabbaty and Summit War. So
when you meet them, they're like the coolest thing ever. Like
Oh,
they have some of the coolest powers. They have some of the coolest abilities, and like they're all captains, so they've all got their personalities. You know,
yeah.
Luffy's bounty isn't even the highest.
It ain't even the highest.
Show's wild, man. I'm so excited. Like worst generation for sure. My favorite part of the show.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Those guys are the head honchos. I love them so much. I think I don't know. This might be like I might be going against the grain, but like I feel like my favorite is Captain Bench, the dude with the castle fruit. I love that guy so much.
You like?
Oh, I love him, bro. I love him. He's so funny.
Yeah, because you meet him and you're like, oh, this is a crazy dude. Like he hardcore. And then you meet him, he's like all about his family and stuff.
Yeah, he a softie.
He's just a big solid. Nah, for me it's a law for sure. When I first saw Law, I was like, this my dude. Like his power is so cool, and he just there as his first mate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it. Hey, y'all, we gonna cut to our sponsors real quick. SeatGeek, thank you for sponsoring this video.
We love SeatGeek. We love everything about them. Nah, I'm just playing y'all, but I wish we were sponsored by SeatGeek. Anyways, next thing we're gonna get into is our favorite devil fruits and types of character or favorite character in the anime. So I'll start us off. I would say my favorite devil fruit is definitely the Hobby Hobby no Mi fruit, which is basically the only reason I love it so much is because it's busted, bro. Like literally, I won't say who has it, but the Hobby Hobby no Mi fruit is like if in an instant if you touch the person with the Hobby Hobby no Mi fruit, the person who got touched, they turn into a toy and basically are under your command. So anybody with the what's it called Hobby Hobby no Mi fruit can basically win any fight just by touching people, and I think that's super broken. But my favorite character from the One Piece show, who I used to hate, and Gabe knows this too, but I love him now, is Usopp. And hold up, the reason I'm gonna say this, y'all need to hear me on this one because Usopp used to be a punk when they first found him, bro. They found him at his lowest when he was simping over a girl. Bro, he was just a spoiled brat back then, thinking he was a pirate. I remember he would false claim being a pirate, and that was the most annoying thing. But as you see his development go on throughout the story and throughout this anime, bro, he just gets turned into this super toxic but awesome dude who's just like he's still a punk, but like he's BA too now. So I mess with him so heavily, and I just love the idea of Usopp being a sniper because he was a huge catalyst in the whole government thing that went down. And my favorite type of devil fruit. So there's a favorite devil fruit and then favorite types of devil fruits. So my favorite type of devil fruit is definitely the what's it called? The Logia fruit or Logia fruit. I know everybody picks this, but it really is like the most broken one. I will say only because the reason I love this one so much is because literally Logia, let's say if somebody had like the the let me think of something, the foam fruit, like their whole body would turn into foam. So I just think that's super OP.
My favorite character is
Okay.
definitely Law. Trafalgar P. Law. He is definitely the coolest dude on the show. Like his powers are just so cool. His might be my favorite devil fruit.
For real.
It just looks so cool. It's so versatile. You can do things with it, and the way he fights with it is just so cool. The type of devil fruit, Logia. You can't help but like them because they're so powerful and they're so cool.
Yeah.
Everybody you've met with a Logia fruit is like, okay, this guy's like busted, like way too overpowered. Like the Logia fruit as my favorite, but like I didn't want to because everybody picks a Logia fruit.
Yeah.
So
But one thing I will say, I think one of the coolest looking fruits or coolest looking fruit types when they do have it on
is the zone fruit.
Yeah, I will say some of these zone fruits really are like the coolest looking. For example, if you do like, I'm just gonna put this out there. This I don't know if this is an actual fruit or not, and I won't tell you guys even if it is. But like, let's say there was like a tiger fruit. So their bodies, they could turn into a tiger, or they could be half tiger, half human. And I just think that's like one of the dopest things to look at visually.
If that makes sense.
Yo, Gabe, so what would you say is your favorite devil fruit? Because I just said mine, so let me hear yours, bro.
The Zoan. I'm gonna do Kaidos.
Oh my goodness!
Like I'm gonna do the Dragon the mythical. I'm not gonna. I probably already spoiled it, but I'm gonna do a mythical Zoan fruit. I don't want to say more about it because it's like way further in the show, and I don't want to ruin that.
So boring.
But man, this is one of the most OP things I've ever seen. This man is like the size of a country now.
Bro, he is so huge.
I don't want to say more on it because it's gonna spoil it, but that is for sure my fruit right now. But when you finally see the devil fruit he has, you're just like, all right, come on. Like I was not expecting that, and I was not thinking he's gonna be that big.
Yeah,
Like I was like, oh my god, like
bro,
I didn't know what to think.
it's so busted. It's
Yeah.
so busted. Hey, we have another type of
Dragon fruit.
Momonosuke.
Oh my god.
He's such a
Bro, I feel bad for him. Nobody takes him serious on that show.
Somehow important, and then we finally see Kaido. It's like, alright, y'all was wilding. Like,
Oda be tripping sometimes. He be bro. Oda makes us look so dumb because like we never see this stuff coming, but he's like, hold up, I told y'all this back then.
oh my god, that's the worst, dude. I think that's part of the reason I keep watching the show because he just foreshadows so well. You have no idea.
Right.
Yo, bro, that is so true. He really does foreshadow so well. But one more question we want to ask y'all before we go is, what animes do y'all want us to talk about on this podcast? Because obviously we're the worst generation, Gen Z, but we can obviously talk about more. Or what arcs would you guys want us to talk about in One Piece? Because y'all, we can get really in depth with this, but I feel like for the first episode, we just wanted to touch base and get not too deep with Romance Down, but just show y'all the ropes to see what it was like. But yeah, for sure, let us know. And I'm going to hit y'all with some 2 tips while watching One Piece. So tip 1, when watching One Piece, make sure to eat. And I'm saying this because when I used to watch One Piece, like binge watch it because I had to catch up, bro, I would not eat. I would eat like 1 meal a day. It was ridiculous. And then the second tip I would give you, I don't know why I just said that in an English accent, but second tip, y'all, would be please do not go up on YouTube and search up anything about One Piece on this besides this podcast, y'all, because I promise y'all there will be so many spoilers and it's gonna ruin it because the spoilers on YouTube are some big ones, and I know because I've been spoiled by at least 3 huge ones. So don't do it, y'all. Please don't do it, y'all. I just wanna say sorry for not having Gabe on here for the rest of the clip. Some of it got cut out because I don't know. This is my first time making a podcast, so the audio got cut off for some reason. But if there's anything else y'all want for us to put in here, let us know. It's been real, y'all. Love y'all. 100% real with Dyspohsable. We out.